derivation, which is asked around many times in the examination. So around 90% chances of the derivation will come in the examination. If the derivation doesn't come, then definitely a problem will be there on that particular concept. Okay, so that thing we'll be discussing today. First we'll complete the problem, then we shall go there. Is my screen visible to all clearly? Hello? Is my screen visible to you all clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Only 4 people have joined. We shall wait for another 2 minutes. Then we shall go with the discussion part. Okay. We shall wait till somebody may join because it is the important concept we are going to discuss now. So students, today's problem, it says that there is a single stage, single acting, reciprocating air compressor of 250 mm bore, 250 mm stroke running at 200 rpm. The suction and delivery pressures are 1 bar and 6 bar respectively. Calculate the theoretical power required to run the compressor under each of the following conditions of compression. First condition is isothermal process. Second condition, polytropic with the value 1.3. Then third, we have isentropic with the value 1.4. Neglect the effect of clearance and also calculate isothermal efficiency in each of the above cases. So, can you tell me what is the given data in this particular problem, students? What are the things given in this particular problem, one by one? What is this? What is this data represent? What is this data representing? Hello? Hello? The value of bore, it is 250 mm, which means it is around 0.25 meter. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as I was saying that the value of bore given is 250 mm, which means capital D, it is 0.25 meters. Okay. Then we have stroke. It is 350 mm, that is L is equal to 0.35 meter. Then it is running at 200 rpm. N is equal to 200 rpm. Then the suction and delivery pressure are 1 bar and 6 bar, which means P1 is equal to 1 bar, P2 is equal to 6 bar. Can anybody tell me 1 bar is equal to how much kilopascal? 1 bar is equal to how much kilopascal? Anybody can tell me this answer?
10 power 5.
10 to the power 5, it is in pascal. If it is in
100.
kilopascal, 100 kilopascal, right? 1 bar is equal to, it is 10 raised to 5 pascal. In kilopascal, it will be 100 kilopascal. Okay. Now, we need to calculate theoretical power required to run the compressor. Theoretical power is nothing but, students, you need to calculate the work input for the compressor itself. Only this work input with respect to speed, if you take n, what is this n? It is with respect to time itself. So the rate of doing work is what? It is nothing but power itself. Did you understand what I am saying? Power means you have to use the same work input equation itself for a compressor. Only a thing is you should calculate with respect to time. So if you divide it by speed, obviously you will go the answer what you are going to get, you will get in terms of kilowatt itself, that is power. So for 3 conditions you need to find out the power required to drive the compressor. One condition is isothermal, second condition is polytropic, third condition is isentropic. Neglect the effect of clearance and also calculate isothermal efficiency in each of the above cases. These are the things which he has asked us to find out. Now students, if you observe carefully in this question, anywhere he has mentioned regarding clearance volume, he has not mentioned. Also he has said that we need to neglect that clearance volume, which means this compressor is what? It is a compressor without clearance volume. So if you draw the PV diagram, it is looking like this, students. This is the PV diagram for a compressor without clearance volume. In this, one curve is polytropic, then one curve is isothermal, and another curve is isentropic, that is adiabatic. Sorry. Okay. So for all these 3 curves, you need to find out the power input. Okay. Now, as I said, we have drawn the PV diagram. You can see here. So, what is this curve? Which process it is representing? Can anybody say me this curve? It is which process? It is which process? ಯಾವ process represent ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? PV is equal to C. PV is equal to C. ಯಾವ process ಅನ್ನು represent ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ? Is my screen visible to you clearly? So what is PV is equal to C representing to you? You can zoom your screen also. If you zoom your screen, it is visible to you clearly again. What is PV is equal to C? Yes, anybody? It is representing a isothermal process. P is equal to C, as we have discussed just now. Then after this, this one, P into e to the power of 1.3 is equal to C. It is representing polytropic process. Then finally, P into e to the power of 1.4 is equal to C. It is representing adiabatic process. So for all these three processes, you need to find out the work done and get the isothermal efficiency. So let us see how it can do now. So first, as we have discussed, the given data we have taken down here. So sub to volume V1. So from here to here, this is sub to volume Vs, which is equal to V1, which is nothing but pi by 4 d square L. So once you substitute, you get the value how much? 0.0172 meter cube. Then volume flow rate of air V1 is equal to cylinder volume into number of suctions happening per second. So number of suctions is nothing but it is with respect to the speed itself. It is with respect to the speed itself, students. So therefore, I can write this as what? V1 into 200 by 60, that is meters, revolutions per minute. I convert into revolutions per second. So therefore, what happens here now? This is 0.0573 meter cube per second. So you have what? V1 here. So what is your work input equation for the polytropic process? Directly you can write n by n minus 1 p1 v1 into p2 by p1 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 1. So all the things are given to you. Just you need to substitute and get the answer. Now, once more, for yes, starting first he has asked for isothermal compression. So for isothermal compression in your BTD subject, you have learnt the isothermal work done is given by P into P1 V1 ln of P2 by P1. So P1 is given in the question to you. V1 we have calculated sub to volume. P2 and P1 both are given in the question. On calculation, what do you get the answer? You get it as 10.27 kilowatt. So once you have completed this one isothermal work, you need to write an expression for isothermal efficiency. And already I have told you in the last class also, the isothermal work divided by actual work will give you the isothermal efficiency. Okay, so isothermal work is 10.27 kilowatt. Actual work is also 10.27 kilowatt, which means the isothermal efficiency is 100%. Always keep in mind, students, this value for isothermal efficiency, for isothermal compression work, its value is always 100%. Keep this in mind. Next, we go for polytropic compression. For the polytropic compression process, we have the equation, as I said, n into n minus 1 p1 v1 into p2 by p1 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 1. So for polytropic, you have the value of n, its value is 1.3. P1 is given in the question, V1 you have calculated, similarly P2 and P1 is given in the question. Substitute all the values, you get it as 12.71 kilowatt. Okay. So once you have got this one as 12.71 kilowatt, then isothermal efficiency you need to compare with the polytropic work divided by actual work. So therefore, the isothermal work is how much for you? It's around 10.27 27 divided by actual work is 12.71. So on calculation, what do you get? 80.80 percentage is the efficiency for polytropic compression process. See students, as you are going from isothermal away, the efficiency goes on decreasing. We have calculated isothermal, we have calculated polytropic. Let us see what happens for the adiabatic. Is the adiabatic value still greater than 80% or less than 80%? We need to discuss. So let us see. Looks like my program has been stuck. 1 minute, students. I'll reopen the PPT once more. So we were up till here, right? Now we need to find out the third case, that is for with respect to the case of adiabatic process or isentropic compression process. So that we write it as isentropic compression. It is replacing n by gamma, and the value of gamma is 1.4. So its value, if you observe, it is 13.41 kilowatt. So if you observe here, whatever you are writing in the polytropic work process, that is n by n minus 1 into P1 V1 raised to the power of P2 by P1 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n. The same equation, only a thing is replace n by gamma. So you'll get the isentropic work done equation. So its value is how much? 13.41 kilowatt. So finally, the isothermal efficiency for the isentropic compression process is 10.27 13.41. You get it as 76.58 percentage. So if you observe carefully from your PV diagram, students, I was showing you the PV diagram. If you have observed carefully, this was the nature of graph. Okay, and this black colored arrow mark, it is polytropic process. Just I am writing some words here. Then this one, students, this was your isothermal, and finally this one, it is isentropic. So as you move from isothermal towards isentropic, the efficiency goes on decreasing. You can see even in the graph also. So from isothermal, you are having the highest efficiency. Then as you go move towards isentropic, the efficiency goes on decreasing. So you can see here in the calculation also. So here it was 76.58. Previously it was 80.8. Then it is 100%. You can see isothermal efficiency is having the highest percentage. Now, what are the disadvantages or limitations of a single stage compressor? Okay. So many times, students, as I said that this device is used everywhere. Okay. Now one small simple question to you. How many of you are still riding the bicycle? How many of you are still riding the bicycle? Hello, students, am I audible to you all? How many of you are still riding the bicycle? Am I audible to all clearly? Can anybody say me what is this? Which I have drawn on the screen? What is this? What is there on the screen? Can anybody say me what is it? Which is visible on your screen? Can anybody say what is that part? Students, what is that part which is visible to you on the screen? Huh? This one, what it is? You have used it in your daily life. I am asking this device name. To fill the air, what is this device known as? If you want to fill the air into your tires of your bicycles or the bikes, what it is? Is my voice audible to you all or not? Shweta, Sumit, Omkar, Rafida, Sandeep, Santosh, Sujain. Is my voice clearly audible to you or not?
Yes, sir, audible.
Then can you name this device? What it is? You have used in your school days, now in colleges also, especially for filling the air in your bicycles, tires. What is this machine known as? It is pump. If this small pump you can use for filling the air in your tires of your bicycles. Can you use the same pump for filling the air of the tires of the lorries or buses? Can you use? Is it possible? Does it take the same time or more amount of time to fill the air with this particular pump for buses or trucks and all? What I mean to say here is, now in this pump what you are saying, there is only one cylinder. Because of that, it is air is being compressed, and you can see that it is used for filling the air in the tires, tubes and all. It is good for your bicycles, but if you want to fill the air for your cars, trucks, buses, then you cannot use this kind of pump. Again, you need to use a bigger kind of compressor. Okay, so in that the air which is that is compressed on higher pressure, which can be used for filling the air in the tires and tubes. But again, if you go from the industry point of view, again the compressors which are using for filling the air of your buses and trucks tires, it is not suitable. That still the size increases. So when the size goes on increasing, you cannot use the same pressure ratio directly itself. Means it is causing some disadvantages. What are they? The first thing is, please observe here, when the pressure ratio is unduly large, you cannot use a single stage compressor in the following situations. Why? It is having some of the limitations. What is the limitation, student? Please see here. For a given bore, that is internal diameter, with increased pressure ratio, stroke of the piston increases, which results in more frictional losses, right? Which, what it means to say that, suppose just I will draw a rough sketch here. Please observe here. Say this is the diameter which you are observing right now here. This diameter is say around 40 mm. Okay, so for this 40 mm, you are having some pressure ratio of say around 10, and as the stroke of the piston increases, it results in a more frictional losses. This is the happening. As the pressure ratio increases, there is the stroke of the piston is responsible for the frictional losses. This is the first point. Second point, students, then the cylinder wall thickness, if the size of the bore goes on increasing, pressure ratio goes on increasing, so automatically even thickness of the wall has to be increased, which means compressor becomes heavier in nature. It becomes heavy. Then increase the pressure ratio. What happens? It is trying to decrease the volumetric efficiency, which has an effect in the capacity of the compressor. So as the increased pressure ratio decreases the volumetric efficiency, it will certainly affect the capacity of a compressor. And as this happens, so for compressing there, whatever the work input is there, you need to do more in nature, which means it increases the work input for increased pressure ratio, as well as it is affecting the capacity of the compressor. Then at the same time, if there is an increased pressure ratio, there is an increase in the temperature of the air at the delivery also. This is the things. So normally many times you have experienced this also. When you are filling the air for your vehicle, the air is being compressed and it is filled into your tire tubes. So the temperature of the compressed air, it is more than the temperature of the atmospheric air. Why? Because due to increase in the pressure ratio. When this happens, it is affecting certainly the compressor also. So these are some of the disadvantages for a single stage compressor. I hope these points are clear to you. Do you have any doubts in this? Let me know. If you have any doubts, we can discuss here, students. Do you have any doubts in this one? So for a given bore ratio, if there is an increase in pressure ratio, then what happens? There is a stroke of the piston which increases, which due to which there are more frictional losses. This is the first important point. So as this happens, sometimes even the cylinder wall thickness has to be enlarged, which means the compressor becomes heavier in nature. Then with the increase in pressure ratio, there is certainly a decrease in the volumetric efficiency, which means it is affecting the performance of a compressor. So as it is affecting the performance of a compressor, you need to do more work input. There is an increase in work input, as well as increased pressure ratio increases the temperature of air during the time of delivery. Then what are the solution for this one? So what you can do is, instead of single stage compressor, you can take the help of a multi-stage compressor. You can take the help of a multi-stage compressor. Students, please observe this picture carefully here, this photo. Is this photo clearly visible to you? Is this photo clearly visible to you? Students, is the photo clearly visible to you?
Yes, sir.
If you observe carefully, students, say this as compressor 1, where the compression takes place in the first stage. So here from the position first compressor, here the air is entering in the cylinder. See, its water is initial conditions, temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, pressure is 100 kilopascal. So after the compression is done, when it comes out of the compressor, please observe here, what is the temperature here? What is the temperature here, students? T2 value is how much? T2 value is how much? What is the value of T2, temperature T2 as well as pressure P2? You can zoom in your mobile screen and you can observe also. I am saying you can zoom in your mobile screen and you can get the answer also. So what is the value of temperature T2 and pressure P2, students? Shweta, Sumit, Omkar, Rafida, Sandeep, Sujain. So what is the value of pressure P2 and temperature T2? What is the value of pressure P2 and temperature T2? Kanti Taylor learning kada? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What is the value of temperature T2 and pressure P2?
T2 equal to 200, sir. P2 equal to 500 kilopascal.
Right. So what does this mean when the air is being compressed at the delivery part, at the exit part? Certainly the temperature has to increase, even the pressure has to increase, which has increased, you can see here. After this, it is directly not passed to second compressor, second stage. What they have done in between, they have introduced a machine known as intercooler. You can see here. This is a small machine. This air of temperature 200 degrees Celsius, 500 kilopascal, when it passes through the intercooler, there is a drop in the temperature, students, but not in the pressure. So temperature drops to how much? It drops to 40 degrees Celsius. T3 is equal to 40 degrees Celsius. But the pressure, it remains the same. That is, P3 is equal to 500 kilopascal itself. There is no change in the pressure. Only decrease in the temperature happens. Then it enters the second stage compressor. After it comes out of the second stage compressor, if you observe here, the temperature T4 is 109 degrees Celsius, pressure P4 is 1000 kilopascal. It is 1000 kilopascal. So if you observe carefully the exit of the first stage and second stage temperature conditions, please observe here T2 and T4. The T4 value is very much lesser when compared to T2, which means the work input required is also very less. There can be compressed very easily. So therefore, as the pressure ratio goes on increasing, the compression of air, instead of carrying in a single stage, we can carry in more number of stages with respect to the pressure ratio. Such type of compressors where the compression of air takes place in two or more than two cylinders using a single, a place of a single compressor, single cylinder compressor. Such kind of machine we call it as multi-stage compressor. Such kind of machine we call it as a multi-stage compressor. So generally in the multi-stage compressor, one thing is important is we should provide intercoolers. So if you are providing intercoolers, the temperature of the compressed air reduces, and when it moves for the next stage, the compression can be done very easily, which means work input required is very less. So for this purpose itself, we are providing the intercoolers. So it reduces the temperature of the gas at the inlet to the next stage. This is the point I said. Along with that, if the temperature, if it is not reduced, then what happens? The compressed gas would exceed the temperature limits of the compressor equipment, resulting in mechanical damage, as well as even it increases the mechanical input also. That is the work input also, it increases. Because of that reason itself, instead of using a single stage, you can use more number of stages. That is cylinder 1, cylinder 2, cylinder 3. So for each cylinder, the compression pressure ratio goes on remaining constant or slightly little bit higher, not more, slightly higher. Okay, so this is regarding introduction to multi-stage compressor. Now, how is the one multi-stage compressor? Please observe your sketch carefully, students. Here, the air is entering the first stage in the cylinder. It gets compressed and it comes out of the first cylinder. So as it is coming out of the first cylinder, obviously P2, pressure P2, temperature T2, it has to be greater than pressure P1, temperature T1. Sorry students for the interruption. So as I was saying that pressure, with pressure P1, it enters the cylinder, the air gets compressed. After compressing the air, it comes out of the first stage cylinder with pressure P2, temperature T2, which means the value of pressure P2 and temperature T2, it is greater than pressure P1, temperature T1. I hope this point is clear to you all. Now, with these conditions, what happens? It is passed into an intercooler, where the purpose of the intercooler is to say that there is a reduction in only temperature, not in pressure. The pressure doesn't change. Please keep this in mind, students. The value of P2 coming out of the first cylinder, whereas entering second cylinder, pressure remains constant. Only there is a decrease in temperature to some extent. So in the second cylinder, when it enters here, it is having same pressure P2, but the temperature, it is lesser than it came out of the first cylinder. And again here it is compressed, and again it is coming with the new pressure and temperature conditions, that is P3 T3, where P3 T3 is greater than P2 T2. Now, if you observe here, how many cylinders we can see here, students? We can see here, this is cylinder number 1, this is cylinder number 2, which means compression takes place in 2 stages. It is an example of a multi-stage compressor. Suppose if the compression takes place in 3 stage, then what happens? This P3T3, it again enters into an intercooler. You can see here, it enters into an intercooler, the second intercooler. Again here the temperature reduces, pressure remains the same, P3. Again here it enters into a next cylinder, that is cylinder number 3. You can see here how I am labeling it. Okay. So when it comes out of this cylinder, its temperature has suddenly been increased. So therefore, always keep this in mind, students. The purpose of using the multi-stage compressor is to see that the compression of the air is being carried out, seeing that the pressure is increased with keeping constant pressure ratio, as well as reduction in work input, Okay. So now the same what I have done is I have represented on a pressure volume diagram. So please observe very carefully now, everybody. Now I'll be discussing with respect to this one. Cylinder number 1. Okay. And if you observe here in the cylinder number 1, we have provided some clearance volume also. There is clearance volume VC. So therefore, with respect to cylinder number 1 having clearance volume, I have drawn the pressure volume diagram. Please observe here. This is 1 to 2 isothermal compression, constant pressure, delivery, and again reaching back to the position number 1. This is first the first cylinder. Similarly, students, for the next cylinder, students, please observe here. This one, second cylinder, this is from P2 the pressure has to be increased. You can see here from the P2 again the pressure has been increased. You can see here. This is the compression carried out from second cylinder. So this is the second cylinder. Below is the first cylinder. So do you have any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay. Now here, please observe here another important point I'll explain you now. Suppose, students, we have discussed previous problems regarding the isothermal process and all, and I was saying that we have provided this intercooler. So when we provide this intercooler, what happens? Please observe this point. If there is only one cylinder, students, listen. If there is only one cylinder, then the nature of graph will be like this. One day cylinder hinga. If this happens, we have discussed the limitations, that is increase in the bore diameter, decrease in the volumetric efficiency, the pump compressor becomes heavier in nature, other things. So to reduce this, what we did compression in 2 different cylinders. So because of that, we had these 2 different curves. Now, when you are providing intercooler, what is the purpose of providing the intercooler, students? Why we need to provide intercooler? We need to see that there is reduction in temperature but no change in pressure, right? Now if you observe here, students, in the first cylinder, this is the nature of graph. Okay, here up till position number 2, the air is being compressed now. Now from here, what I am doing, I am using an intercooler. Because of this intercooler, students, what happens? There is reduction in temperature but no change in pressure. So pressure remains the same. So you can see here up till some, this green colored arrow mark line I am showing in the PV diagram. Is it visible to you clearly? Is it visible to you all clearly?
Yes, sir.
What does this line says is the compression for the next stage, it begins from position number 5. Why? Because of this intercooler. If this intercooler was absent, then what would have happened? The compression would begin directly from position 2 itself. Compression for a second cylinder, it would start from the position number 2 itself. So when we have provided intercooler, what happens here? The temperature is reduced with no change in pressure. That is the reason P2 and P5 I have shown the same pressure. Once it reaches at position number 5, again here the compression begins for the second cylinder, that is the next stage, and the air is delivered at a higher pressure. This is the nature of graph for the multi-stage compressor with intercooler. If you have any doubts, you can ask here, because this is one very, very important derivation. If you have any doubts, you can ask here. Any doubts? So once I have provided intercooler, how much amount of area work I have saved? This much amount of work I have saved. Please observe here. I am showing this hatching part. Pink colored hatching part. This much amount of work is being saved. That is, work input is saved. That is the area covered under this particular graph 2, 5, 6, 9. What you are saying? This area is now, this much area of the work compression is reduced, which means it's a good sign. Work input is reduced. So like this, if you go on doing for 3 stage, 4 stage, so ultimately, simultaneously, what you can see is, you can see that the compression at what required pressure you want, it can be delivered. Along with that, the work input can also be reduced. And saying using intercooler, the temperature is reduced, keeping the pressure constant. I hope this point is clear to you. Now I'll move further. Yes, as I was saying to you students, please observe this PV diagram, everybody. Say this is cylinder number 1, first stage compression, and say this is a second stage compression. Okay. Now for the first stage compression, students, P1 is the suction pressure. P1 is the suction pressure, or you can say the inlet pressure. For the first stage itself, pressure P2, this one, this line, it is what? Delivery pressure. Do you agree with this point? Do you agree with this point? Hello students, do you agree with this point or not? Hello? Am I audible to you clearly? Now, this we have written with respect to first cylinder. If I go with respect to second cylinder, students, second stage, okay? With respect to second cylinder. So in the second cylinder, what is the inlet pressure? P2 is the inlet pressure or suction pressure, whereas P9, they are all what? They are the delivery pressure. So in other simple words, what you can say that this P2, which remains inlet for second cylinder and outlet for the first cylinder, you can call this P2 as what? This as one intermediate pressure. And this pressure P2 is operating with how many points? 3, 8, 5, 2. So these points are what? They are intermediate points for the intermediate pressure P2. So therefore, what you can say is, pressure P2 and temperature T2 is discharged to an intercooler which is responsible for cooling the air to the initial temperature T1. It cools the air to the initial temperature T1. Then this cooled air then enters the second stage compressor, is a high pressure cylinder, and it delivers the pressure P3 with the temperature T3. So therefore, when I want to write the compression of air carried out in the first stage cylinder, for the first stage, this one, for this one, I want to write the compression of air carried out for the first stage. So this is compression carried out by polytropic process. So I am using the PVT relation, that is T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n. Compression carried out in a single stage, that is for the first stage. Then after this, what you can do is, for the second stage, when I begin the compression process, for the second stage, we are providing the intercooler. So for the second stage, the compression is in this particular chart. Please observe here, this one. What is that? 5, 6, 7, 8. This is for a second stage, or a high pressure cylinder, we say. So therefore, what you can say, students, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 is an area covered for a high pressure cylinder, and along with that, the line 1, 2, 9, this one, students, the line or the curve 1, 2, 9, this one, this curve 1, 2, 9, it is representing what? If the compression is carried to a single stage. So single stage model, from the here itself you can see this much amount of area we have reduced. So pink color shading because of, as you have not gone for single stage, still this much amount of area is reduced. Work input for compression is reduced. So we need to calculate only for this area now. So this is the high pressure cylinder. So therefore, the area covered on this particular process, and along with that, it is said that the area under the curve 29652, it is also representing the cooling process. Yes, intercooling process. So therefore, the total indicator work is the work input for both cylinders, that is low pressure cylinder plus high pressure cylinder, that is W input is equal to low pressure cylinder work input as well as the high pressure cylinder input, high pressure cylinder work input, which means I can write it as what? Yes, your compressor equation. So this one. So this is the low pressure cylinder, you can see here. So for this, how I can write? N by n minus 1 into, there is what you say, effective swept volume, because there is a clearance volume. So I write it as V1 minus V4 into P2 by P1 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n minus of 1 plus n by n minus 1 into this one for the second cylinder. We have difference from what? P5 to P8. We write as P1 into V5 minus V8 divided by P3 by P2 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n. Okay, then one small correction you need to do, students. One small correction. What you can do is you can replace this one as 3 and this one as 6. Or else what you can do is directly you can write in this fashion also. One moment. So you are writing for this particular curve, na? Okay. So this 9, 6, 7, they are operating out of pressure points P3. So I can write in this fashion also. That is for the high pressure cylinder, n by n minus 1 into P1 into V5 minus V8 effective swept volume into P3 by P2 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n minus of 1. So now if you observe carefully, we are writing with respect to the gas equations. I can write as n by n minus 1 into Mr T1 into P2 by P1 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 1 plus n by n minus 1 again, it is Mr T1 into P3 by P2 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 1. Now from here we will calculate the simplification process. So these things are common. We take it outside. We are remaining with these terms. We know that what is mass m? It is nothing but Pf by Pf into Vf divided by R into rho f. Sorry, Tf. We have discussed yesterday this one with respect to the free air delivered conditions. The same things we are discussing here now again. So with respect to Pf we have P1. With respect to Vf we have V1 minus V4 whole divided by RT1. So this you can equate with the second high pressure cylinder as P2 into V5 minus V8 divided by RT1. So finally, the equation how I can write? On simplification, it becomes in this form. That is P2 by P1 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n plus P3 by P2 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 2. It is minus 2. Here, one small simplification starts. This should be plus sign. This should be plus sign. Is it visible to you? So this is the work input for an multi-stage compressor having two stages. Okay. Now, when we are doing this one, we need to go for a minimum compression work input. That is optimum intermediate pressure we need to calculate. So therefore, the total power input for a two-stage reciprocating air compressor with complete intercooling, how we can calculate? We are using this equation students, which just now we have derived. The same equation we are proceeding here. That is n by n minus 1 mRT1 into P2 by P1 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n plus P3 by P2 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 2. Where if you observe students, this particular pressure P2 between P1 and P3, what happens? It behaves as intermediate pressure. Already I have told. Why? Because for the first cylinder P2 is the delivery pressure, whereas for the second cylinder P2 is the suction pressure. Because of that, it is acting as an intermediate pressure. Now, for minimum work input, if you want, we should go for a differentiation for the intermediate pressure P2 with respect to 0, equating to 0. So therefore, when I go, I get this equation, that is n by n minus 1 into mRT1 into d by dP2 into P2 by P1 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n plus P3 by P2 raised to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 2 is equal to 0. So on further simplification, students, so you have to differentiate with respect to P2. Please observe here. We need to differentiate with respect to P2. So can anybody say me what is the differentiation of this first term? What is the differentiation of this first term? Shweta, Omkar, Rafida, Sandeep, Sujain. What is the differentiation of this first term? Can anybody say me what is the differentiation of the first term? You should differentiate with respect to pressure P2. It becomes n minus 1 by n into P2 to the power of n minus 1 by n minus 1 whole divided by P1. It is like this fashion. Just I will show you. Yes, we can see here we have got in this fashion. So this is the constant term which is taken outside, d by dP2 with respect to P2 raised to the power of n minus 1 minus. Similarly for the next term also we have done here. So now this is what? This is what? Differentiation of x raised to n. Can anybody say what is the differentiation of x raised to n? What is the differentiation of x raised to n? Can anybody say me? What is the differentiation of x raised to n? X raised to n. Yes, it is nothing but nx raised to n minus 1. The same we have written here in the next step, this one. Similarly, this one. The next also you can see here the same thing we have done differentiation. So now from here we go for simplification. So what is the simplification, students? It is, you can see here, this is common, it gets cancelled. Sorry, this is not common. 1 minute. What I can do is, I can reverse this one, that is, this I can write it as, I can write 1 minus n by n as is equal to minus of n minus of n minus 1 by n. So that is the reason, instead of plus, why here the minus sign is coming is, this is the reason, students. And once I write this one, this gets cancelled, even this gets cancelled. That is n minus 1 by n, on both sides it is common, it gets cancelled. The final, it is in this form. You can see here. Now what I will do is, these terms I shift to the right hand side. Okay, and now whatever the pressure P2 terms are there, I shift to the other side, and P1 and P2, P3 on the right hand side. So you can see here, on simplification, what do I get? I get in this form. So if I cancel these terms, P2 square is equal to P1 P3, or I can write this as in this form, P2 by P1 is equal to P3 by P2 also, or this can also be written as P2 is equal to square root of P1 P3. Is this point clear to you all, students? So what we'll do is, we shall just stop here itself, because the next concept we need to again go for a discussion of this one. What we will do is, students, today we should stop here itself. Tomorrow I will be conducting one class in the afternoon, because today I had actually 2 classes from 3:30 to 5:30. Already I know you are in the sleepy mode, so what I will do is, the 4:30 class I will skip today. What I will do is, tomorrow in the afternoon at 3 o'clock I will be conducting the 80D extra class. Okay, so see that, don't give this time for tomorrow for any other teacher. Tomorrow I will be handing 3 o'clock, and I will be continuing today's part. I hope these things are clear to you, students. Okay, we shall stop here. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Shweta, Omkar, Rafida, Sandeep, if you have any doubts, you can ask.
No, sir.
And one more important thing, I have uploaded the notes of module number 1 and module number 2. And the videos, what I am doing is, I will download those videos what I have done in the classes, and I will send in the WhatsApp group itself. It becomes easy for you to understand. Is it okay in that fashion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will post them, don't worry. Okay then, thank you. Tomorrow we shall meet at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.